Liu Yuning stepped onto the stage of the Affinity Music Project Annual Awards on the evening of January 2nd, 2026. Almost immediately, something felt different. Before the music fully began, before the choreography unfolded, before the camera settled into its rhythm, audiences could already sense it. The moment Liu Yuning appeared under the lights, he did not look like he usually did on a major awards stage. It wasn't loud, it wasn't dramatic, but it was unmistakable. When the main lights came on, Liu Yuning stood at the center of the stage. He didn't rush forward, he didn't strike a dramatic opening pose, he didn't rely on exaggerated gestures to demand attention. He paused, just for a brief moment, and that pause was enough to make viewers stop scrolling, stop talking, and look. He was wearing a red leather jacket and black leather pants, a combination that immediately felt strong and grounded. But beneath that was something audiences were not accustomed to seeing from him on a formal televised stage. A clean, semi-transparent inner layer, minimal in design, with no decorative elements drawing attention away from the body itself. The message was clear. Liu Yuning was not hiding his physical presence, but he was also not showing off. He stood tall, shoulders relaxed, posture straight, letting the stage lights fall directly onto him. His silhouette, stance, and movement were clearly visible, without hesitation or avoidance. In that first moment, many viewers realized they were watching something more than just another scheduled performance. Liu Yuning has long been known for a calm, controlled stage presence. He is not an artist who relies on shock value or sudden visual changes to stay relevant. His performances are typically measured, stable, and restrained, placing emphasis on control and consistency. Because of that, any shift in his presentation becomes immediately noticeable. This time, his face was the same, his expression was the same, his composure was the same. What had changed was how directly he allowed himself to be seen. The semi-transparent inner layer did not dominate the outfit. It did not distract from the performance. Instead, it allowed the audience to read his body more clearly under the stage lights. Every change in balance, every turn, every pause became visible in a way that felt intentional rather than accidental. This was not a common styling choice for a year-opening awards ceremony, and it was not an image Liu Yuning had frequently chosen in the past. That unfamiliarity created a moment of tension, not discomfort, but curiosity. Attention naturally went to the outfit at first. The red leather jacket framed his upper body, emphasizing his shoulders and upright posture. The black leather pants elongated his legs, giving his steps clarity and weight. The inner layer connected the look, allowing light to pass through and highlight the structure of his movement rather than surface detail. What made the styling effective was not boldness, but control. Liu Yuning did not adjust his clothing. He did not make protective gestures. There was no visible uncertainty in the way he carried himself. Instead, he stood and moved as if this image had already been fully accepted as part of who he was on stage. At nearly 190 centimeters tall, Liu Yuning naturally commands space. But height alone does not create presence. Presence comes from control. During this performance, his physical advantages were used with precision. The jacket structured the upper body, the pants grounded his steps, the inner layer unified the look. As he moved, the stage lights reflected differently across the materials, creating a sense of motion even during moments of stillness. Viewers weren't just watching him perform, they were watching how he occupied space. Each step landed with intention, each pause felt deliberate. There was no excess movement, no unnecessary gesture. When the opening notes of Say My Name 10,000 times filled the venue, Liu Yuning began to move. The choreography was restrained. It wasn't fast or complex, and it didn't aim to overwhelm. Instead, it focused on clarity. He turned slowly, shifted his center of gravity with confidence, kept rhythm using his entire body rather than isolated movements. At this point, the purpose of the inner layer became even clearer. It did not hide movement, it clarified it. Every rotation, every change in stance, every controlled pause was fully readable to the audience. Nothing felt rushed, nothing felt obscured. This clarity drew viewers in, not through spectacle but through focus. Throughout the first part of the performance, one impression became increasingly strong. Liu Yuning was presenting a new image, but without forcing it. He wasn't rejecting his past. He wasn't announcing a transformation. He wasn't trying to shock. He was simply allowing the audience to see him more directly than before. Viewers weren't overwhelmed. They were held, because the performance invited observation, rather than demanding reaction. When the music faded and the lights dimmed, the stage returned to silence. But the conversation around Liu Yuning had only just begun. Within minutes of the broadcast, clips of the performance began circulating online. Short edits focused on his entrance. Others replayed the first seconds under the lights. Some showed full stage views, emphasizing posture and movement. Interestingly, many discussions did not start with the song. They started with how Liu Yuning appeared, how he stood, how he moved, how the outfit interacted with the lighting. Some viewers expressed immediate interest, describing the performance as difficult to look away from. They pointed to the confidence in his posture and the clarity of his movement. Others responded more cautiously, noting that the image felt unfamiliar and required time to process. Some compared it to his previous stages, highlighting the shift toward a more visually direct presentation. What mattered most was not agreement but engagement. The reactions were varied, but they were active. Fan accounts shared clips from multiple angles, replaying subtle moments and analyzing his entrance and movement. Related hashtags appeared frequently, showing that the attention was sustained rather than momentary. Despite different perspectives, one conclusion was widely shared. Liu Yuning had left a clear impression. Looking back at his earlier stages, his approach has consistently emphasized restraint and control. Visual elements were present, but rarely central. The focus remained on stability and musical delivery. This appearance did not abandon those values. It expanded them. He remained composed, he remained controlled, but he allowed visual clarity to play a larger role. This was not a sudden reinvention. It was a measured step forward, taken by an artist who understands his stage identity and is comfortable refining it. The Affinity Music Project annual awards came to an end, but the image of Liu Yuning from that night continued to circulate, not because of controversy, not because of shock, but because of a quiet confidence that lingered. A choice to stand in the spotlight without hiding. A choice to let the audience decide what they were seeing. And that leaves one question open. Was this simply an experiment in visual presentation, or the beginning of a new phase in Liu Yuning's performance journey? For now, the moment stands. Clear, controlled, and impossible to ignore.